we did price that at a higher price point. That didn't mean all of a sudden every game on Nintendo Switch was all of a sudden priced at that higher price. And so similarly with something like Mario Kart World, with something like Donkey Kong Country, really looking at the experience and saying, okay, this we feel is an appropriate price, taking into account a lot of these other factors that are just impacting pricing overall in this day and age. So again, like what he's saying here, it does make sense to a degree. It really just is game by game. And you know what? Like, a lot of people are saying the fact that Mario Kart World is 80, but I really do think that Donkey Kong Bonanza being 70, it's not as bad. It really could just be the absolute biggest piece of going to be 80 or whatever. So for the most part, this doesn't really reveal anything, and I think it does make sense to a degree. My whole thing is that it would be so much easier to pay these higher prices if Nintendo was more flexible overall with their pricing. And this is nothing new from me either. I went over all this in that video I did about the idea of $70 games, which at the time seemed like the worst case scenario. But yeah, the problem is just like, if you're gonna actually be looking at these experiences and charging based on what they offer, it's got to go both ways. And that's the thing here, is clearly Nintendo is not looking at every case and judging it differently. Sure, maybe you could argue that a game like Mario Kart World or Tears of the Kingdom it's so big and it's so grand, they just want to charge a little bit extra. You know, if it costs them 5 times more money to make this game versus another one, then like charging an extra 10, 20 bucks is really not even as big of a deal. The problem is when those other smaller games that really don't offer a lot are still, they still cost us a lot of money. I'd be happy paying 80 for Mario Kart World if I could get some like very old, very bare bones remaster of a game for like 30 or 40, you know, Luigi's Mansion 2, for instance, if that was like 30 or 40, then yeah, okay, that's a lot easier to take. But clearly they're not looking at those experiences and pricing down accordingly, because I mean, I know I complain about it. I've probably complained about it too much, but there are plenty of games on Switch that are like remasters or remakes of old games, or they're just really small